You cannot imagine the pain, the trials I've had to bear. You don't know.
Hello, today I'll be sharing someone's story. She wrote me on a social media platform, and she pretty much was saying that she could relate to what I was talking about and what I went through. So I'll just read. She said, I just want you to know that you aren't alone. I was sexually touched by my stepdad, his friends, some neighbors, and boys at school. I know all too well what it's like. Plus, my mom was on drugs, so I couldn't come to her. She's recovered now, but at the time, she wasn't in the right state of mind to take action. So I know how it feels to feel stuck and used as an object. My dad's a drinker, so I live with my grandparents. My parents aren't bad. We get along. They just aren't stable enough to live with. Mom comes and goes. Dad's always been there, but sexual abuse still happens to me. From 5 to 11. It led to cutting and stuff, but I'm better now. You are strong, and I'm here for you. Women need to stick together. And after she wrote me her story, we would converse back and forth, and I later found out that she was 16 years old. And for saying that she's 16 years old, she seems mature. And at that age, going through being sexually touched or abused between 5 and 11, every story is hard to hear and hard to deal with, but I could put myself in, I've been through it, but I could also put myself in others' situation or story, because it's like, wow, at that young age, where you feel like you should have been protected by whoever was around you. I feel like no one should ever cause harm or want to touch a child, period. But you have a lot of people out here that act like they're, good people, and they act like they're for your kids, or they're just nice and sweet and give your kids gifts and all that stuff, and they don't show that side of them. Of course they're not going to show that side of them, because they want to portray a certain image, and then behind closed doors they're hurting kids and whomever else they're hurting. And I feel like that's not right. And I'm sorry that you went through that, period, because no child should have to go through it. No teenager and no adult. And I don't put an age or a gender on that, because it's not only that girls get raped or touched by men or boys, but it's boys being touched as well. And it doesn't have to be a male touching someone. It could be a female as well. And I feel like we have to watch who we allow to be around our kids, because just because you feel like you trust them, like I said, they can put on that act like they're nice and they would never do that, and yeah, it's not right at all. And I'm sorry that you feel like your mom couldn't help at all. I don't know if you told her or if you told anyone, but I'm sorry that happened to you, and you felt like nothing could have been done about it. It's never okay, especially everywhere that you go. You're at home and you feel like you should be comfortable at home, and you're being touched at home, and then the neighbors, and then you go to school, and then the boys at school are touching you. And I feel like people feel like it's okay to touch someone in a way and get away with it. You shouldn't put your hands on anyone, because if they're not, you don't know if they're comfortable with it or not. But at that age, I just don't understand how people feel like that's okay. And And I'm sorry you feel like you're just like you felt at that time that you was just an object to be used. Like, and that's how a lot of us that have been sexually abused feel. Like, even if it doesn't matter how many times or how long it's been, when you're raped or touched in a bad way, you're always going to have that, like, okay, so every time I turn around in your situation, every time you turned around, someone was touching you or hurting you in a way that they should have never did. Like, I don't. It's like I'm lost for words. Kind of like you at home, your stepdad. You're at home again, and you have the neighbors, and then his friends. You said his friends as well. So it's no way I can express like how sorry I am that you even have to go through that. And there's so many others that have went through the same thing and they never speak of it, or they just choose to just keep to themselves, and that's okay too. But a lot of people that have been sexually abused, they're ashamed, and they are they feel used and abused, and they feel less than. Like in my situation, I was raped by my uncle as a child. And even when I was like a teenager, I didn't trust people because of what I went through, or other than that, I mean, I didn't trust anyone. And you have, like, okay, you're going through that stage where you're dating or you're talking to someone, but getting close to people, period, it can be hard, and you have to put on that smile and act like everything's okay when sometimes it's not. Like me, I'm still healing because like I'm learning more stuff about myself and my situation as I'm doing this YouTube thing. And I feel like regardless of your healing process and where you're at in it, you're going to think about it sometimes and have flashbacks or just have anxiety out of nowhere. And we have to stick together in a way, like stick together and want to help each other get through whatever it is. Even if you have never been touched or sexually abused, like you should be there for the ones that you know have, like just to check on them and see how they're doing. Do you know how many people, how many kids, teenagers, adults, boys, girls, women, and men get raped or sexually abused in any way every single day? It's so many people that you will never know, that you could be friends with, that have been touched, and you will never know it because that's not something that we typically talk about unless like we're going to therapy or we have a as a group that we go to so we can relate. But I feel like you shouldn't have to be abused for you to open your eyes to the fact that there's so many people that are going through it or that went through it and that they struggle every single day. And you will never know because you put on a smile and you act like everything's okay, and it's not. And some cases you can't even speak out and say like, okay, well, such and such touched me or they hurt me, because you have a lot on your plate. Like as a child in your situation, Kayla, I can only imagine that it was hard. Even if you did say something to somebody, that how hard it was for you to say something. Even if you didn't, it's not like, oh, don't feel bad about it, because sometimes we're scared. In a lot of cases, we're scared. We're scared to speak up for so many reasons, and no one will ever understand that unless they went through it. Or they could put themselves in our shoes. And I hate when people say like, oh, like when someone finally comes out and say, well, such and such raped me a long time ago and I never said anything. And you have those people that say, so why you wait so long? What you mean? Do you know how traumatizing it is to be raped and you're threatened? some cases people are threatened. Like, oh, if you tell, I'll kill your family, I'll kill you. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Like, you're scared. You're in shock. And we go through the state of just not knowing ourselves and being depressed and wanting to commit suicide. And you said that you started cutting because of it. And I personally know someone that does that, and or used to, or trying to recover from doing that. And at first I didn't understand. And that's like a lot of cases of what, as me growing up and maturing, I didn't understand a lot of things, especially like, why would you cut yourself? But when I sat down and I talked to that person and actually like try to put myself in their shoes, I finally understood why. And I'm sorry that you had to, to do that. But like I said in previous videos, we cope different ways. We cut, we eat, and my situation, I would eat, drink, smoke. It doesn't matter. We find different things to fill that void and to not feel pain. And I understand, like, and the person that I know situation, how they explained it to me was, well, if other people cause me pain and I have to deal with it, so I'm gonna cause myself pain to kind of balance it out in a way, or just like, okay, I'm gonna just do it because just because. Like, it's never oh, why would you do that? Or it's like you just do it and you don't know why in some cases, and you just want to feel better, but you don't know how to feel better. And I'm sorry that you went through any of the things that you went through. And when we were talking, and I didn't know how old you were until you said it, and I'm like, wow. And I'm proud that you've healed. And even if you have setbacks and you think about it, it's okay. And I'm always here for you if you ever need someone to talk to. We don't have to know each other. That's what it's all about, is just helping somebody. Even if it's one person. It doesn't have to be millions of people that I'm helping. As long as I can help one person, that's all that matters. And thank you so much for sharing your story. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you.